If you suddenly had infinite amount of money, what's the first thing you'd buy? Story 1, politicians. It would be like using cheat codes to help the masses. Lobbying, but for good, not profit. Be the change you want in this world. This would be one of the most effective ways to make so many lives better. Fix the economy for good, tone down inflation, rehaul the housing market, create better paying jobs, no more national debt, no more debt at all, actually. Humans as a whole would be able to move forward, not just worry about keeping the lights on. Story 2. I would go to the schools I went to as a kid and erase all lunchroom debt and library fees. Then I'd hire and staff a catering company employing culinary school grads looking to make a mark on the world to provide free, nutritious, and delicious lunches to the kids of the same schools who debt I erased. I'd make sure the libraries are well stocked and funded too. Next, I'd offer a staffing company whose purpose is to train and develop people who need job skills. I'd charge companies on a sliding scale based upon how much community charity they perform. They'd have to justify their participation, but they would get severely reduced costs, while I'd offer full benefit employment, retirement, health, dental, PTO, etc., covering the gap with my unlimited money. I would start a English as a second language academy, where children of immigrant parents get the best of education on subjects in language they understand, and not make them try to learn subjects in English while learning English too. English classes themselves would be taught in immersive surroundings, but not by general ed teachers, but by bilingual therapists and teachers with a drive to shape the future. Last big thing I'd try to kick off as soon as possible. Buy all the land surrounding a large lake, like 30,000 acre large, build public piers, and in accordance to the law, since it would now be private waters, not public, allow guests to fish without having to pay the state for a license. Hire attendant rangers to man them 24/7 so that they stay clean and not be abused and always be open and inviting for people to fish, meditate, or simply enjoy the water. Story 3. In order: food, shelter including utilities, healthcare including vision, dental, mental, care assistance for children/elderly/disabled, and unlimited education for everyone. Taking care of basic needs would free mankind from a lot of stress, and happier humans could then work on solving problems. I'd then throw money at bigger things like buying up land for conservation, re-engineering cities to be more walkable, reducing sprawl, better public transit and trains to reduce the need for cars, bike trails, cutting emissions and pollution, reforestation, minimizing plastic use, local farms and businesses. The ultimate goal is making Earth a clean and happy place to live. Story 4. I'd buy back the property my family had to sell off to pay the court fees and everything to stop my late grandfather and his black widow of a new wife from kicking my entire family out on the streets just because she felt entitled to everything now that he had her claws in him. Then manipulated him and started the family war. We lost 80 acres, but we have the house still, and she got a lot of money. Glad that any family inheritance that there may have been went to nobody in the family then. He was her 6th husband in 3 or 4 years. All others died. Wonder what her family inherited with those victims. Story 5. First thing I would do, pay any department I have, any kind of department, even if it was small amount that normally you would forget, like a friend giving me $10 because I was short on money that time. Then I buy few things I want and few gifts for the wife and kids. Then go to something bigger like a house. And because I don't know how long I will have the infinite money, I would take a good amount of that money and put it in another account just to be safe and start my business. Story 6. A bunch of houses and land. Obviously, I have no idea if this infinite money will last infinitely. Rent them all out. Hire a private handyman to upkeep them all at a lavish salary. Buy my dream car, dream motorcycle, every entertainment system. Have my dream home built on a rush. Adopt a small army of doggos. Move my various family members in their own homes fully paid for and rent-free. They just gotta cover their own utilities. Hire a butler for my mother. Buy a ton of shares in Elon's space program. If I get a spaceship out of it, it'll be worth it. Story 7. Infinite money. First, I would buy a furnished house for everyone sized according to their needs and end homelessness. Next, I would buy food for all the people who are in need. Third, I would travel the world and fix the corrupted governments and try my best to make happiness and freedom personal rights of all humans. Then if I had anything left, I would get some really good street tacos and a drink and eat and rest because then I would be satisfied. Fuck the yachts and private islands and private jets. Money is the ultimate equalizer and I'm sick and tired of seeing people suffer. Might not be glamorous, but I wouldn't waste that opportunity to just elevate myself and my family. Story 8. I'd build a chain of tabletop gaming stores with lounges for actual gaming and regular stores in the front. Traditional gaming is free on a first-come, first-served seating, but more high-tech featured rooms come with a small fee. The tables themselves would feature the latest in touchscreen AI-assisted reality tech and could provide any number of updated gaming scenarios for the players. Parents who'd like to game could make use of our neighboring staffed and video-monitored play center daycare. Story 9. All companies and land related to fossil fuels, slowly turning down production while investing heavily in regenerative energy and energy storage. As many real estate companies as possible, slowly turning down rent prices while investing heavily in construction of infrastructure, social and housing. Found a global political party which dependencies in every single country which cooperates internationally while investing heavily in education of the masses. Use $1 billion to develop a management AI which can be asked, told the needs of the population to identify smart moves. Buy every single cattle meat production company and meat processing companies, slowly turning down production while simultaneously heavily invest in food research companies. Invest heavily in an airship company which builds giant airships to enable them to swarm, hover above certain parts of Earth to influence weather. Identify the net worth of every citizen and fill it up to the median of the population to even things out. Buy all the forest areas on Earth and make them a nature park with sustainable wood production. Build a global high-speed railway system. Edit. And free psychotherapy medical for everyone, every single one on Earth. Story 10. 3 houses close to each other for me and my buddies. Get them out of their toxic houses. Get them all done up. Fast internet, good gaming setups, the works. Buy some land and a title. You can just buy a lordship if you have some land. Probably start streaming on Twitch for something to do, pay an editor to put the VODs on YouTube, make clips, etc. With infinite money, I'd take a crack at buying X back from Musk and put it back to Twitter. Actually sort out the problems cause I can throw money at enough skilled people to do so. Take a proper vacation, travel a little. Story 11. Inflation. Whenever you spend money in the case of having infinite money, it will cause inflation, as inflation comes free with anything you buy, as you are adding money into circulation. Inflation is the only answer you can surely give because on your way to buy anything, you could run into something else you also want to buy, and with infinite money, you wouldn't say no. Story 12. My daughter and I, a flight to Florida. Stay at the Disney Hotel for a week and then go to SeaWorld. She's been talking about SeaWorld forever, then go to San Diego, visit our family and buy my grandparents a condo. Buy a bunch of cars for my grandpa to fix. He's 80 and won't give up being a mechanic. Buy him a junkyard or something. Build my grandma's old house exactly as I remember it somewhere in the US and move in with my baby so we can start new memories in it. Send money to my family in Mexico so they never have to go without. Pay for my family to get their mental and physical health in check. Donate a lot of groceries to nursing homes because I currently work in one and they are always out of food. Use all my money to just live my life happily and for my daughter to live as happily as she can. Story 13. I would single-handedly crash the economy, unfortunately. I would ask the UN for a revised number to solve world hunger. They said 6 billion to Musk, but couldn't explain how that would be enough. I'd give them what they need, which still wouldn't be enough, because many of the problems aren't fixed with more money. I would buy 2 large plots of land. On one, I would hire a large crew of builders to build my dream home, equipped with an emergency panic room with a 10-year provision for me and my family. On the other would be lots of small but comfortable homes to end homelessness. If your house is smaller than this, you get one for free as long as a homeless guy can move into yours. Again, this wouldn't solve any issues, as many homeless people would piss away the opportunity to get back on their feet. Strict no BS policy, any crime and you're out the door. Then, IDK. If it's really infinite, I'll just throw money at people until it's all worthless, as if my above suggestions won't have already wreaked enough havoc. Then, I would sit and contemplate my choices, wondering why it all failed, wondering where my utopia is. Then, IDK, probably get killed by either the government for fucking shit up, or my wife for the inheritance, or any number of people who are just jealous I have what they don't, even though I never asked for this. Or arrested by the IRS because if I earned infinite money, I probably owe infinite in taxes, especially if I can't explain where it came from. Story 14. Honestly, probably nothing for a little bit. I'm pretty happy with what I have. I'd probably spend the first day just chilling at my house and sipping some mimosas or something. I figure the first thing I'd do is buy a house close by and find someone good with kids to help with the baby we have on the way to live in it, and have a cushy-ass job. I don't want to be completely without a job, I guess, so I'd probably go per diem working emergency medicine, but would actually be able to practice medicine the way I want for a bit, without constantly being terrified of not being productive enough or having someone come out of the woodwork to sue me. So I guess the first thing, mimosas. Story 15 infinite, you say? I see the other responses and I'll go a bit darker. I'll buy myself several armies worth of mercenaries and task them to protect the environment at all costs, mining for coal and deforesting like madmen. Here, go through 500k very well-paid blokes with automatic weapons. Good luck. Poaching animals for their horns/skins/meat because some dipshit in the 1200s said they give you an erection. No problem. Please try that with another 500k very well-paid mercenaries. Prerequisite for the job would be to love animals. Also, all mercenaries get to choose a kitty puppy to have as a companion and get a pet-friendly house to live in Lowell. Whaling? Nope. Clubbing baby seals? Oh, hell no. Hunting lions 'cause sport? Try golf or roll 20 on charisma versus an AK. Oh, I see you're dumping toxic waste in this here lake? Mercenaries don't like beavers covered in tar or millions of dead fish, so try something else, yeah? And finally, please cooperate with us to really try and prevent any more oil spills or you'll get to experience, look at me, I am the captain now, firsthand. Story 16. I'm in the UK, and I'd pay off other people's debt that is stressing them out. Start with all the council tax arrears, then school dinner arrears, then TV license. After that, start looking at other debts from the government over their citizens. And to avoid making anyone unemployed, I'd pay for those in the collections depths to retrain as debt advisors, and instead of chasing debt, spend their work hours on helping their customers. It'd give the local councils more money and help those in debt. Win-win. Story 17. A house is so boring. Take the world's biggest mega yacht, and then quadruple the size. Let's turn it into a luxury battleship/yacht, actually. Equip it with luxury fighter jets and luxury Apache and Chinook helicopters, along with a bunch of luxury tanks. Try to think Bruce Wayne military-grade level stuff here. Mega yachts can usually house around 1,200 people, so if we quadruple that, this yacht will house around 5,000 people. Let's kick it up a notch and really utilize our infinite money glitch. We're going to make 100 more of these yachts and start recruiting and taking applications to form a Spartan society that will overthrow all of the world's current corrupt governments, basically every government except that country that jailed a bunch of their corrupt bankers and politicians that one time, I think it was Iceland. We'll target the best, the brightest, most productive citizens. Our yachts will have advanced solar technology and will run on clean, self-sustaining power. Unfortunately, we'll need some nuclear warheads for the typical eye-rolling stalemate. But we'll be great, like America was 20 to 50 years ago, when they had all of the world's best talent working together in a land of prosperity and opportunity. That is until our Spartan society will be seeded with a couple of rotten apples and bad eggs, where the corruption will continue to bleed black and spread like a nasty subungua hemorrhage, where black, crusty, dried-up blood is crusted up under the entire toenail, and you can't do anything about it until the entire toenail falls off, kind of like how our society is today. But hey, 500 years of peace and prosperity should be worth it. That's typically how long empires last in today's day and age, right? Story 18. All unowned residential property in the world, and all residential property that is ever built. I would then rent them out at 90% of recommended monthly mortgage plus taxes, so the people renting can save money, and give the current tenant exclusive rights to purchase the property if they want to at any time. I would also be open to buying any property I do not own, and having it brought up to standard. Lastly, I'd offer to charge them an additional 5% of the recommended monthly mortgage plus taxes for property management coverage, automatic fixing of any plumbing, electrical, etc. issues. This would effectively destroy the housing market, as I would control such a large proportion of residential property that I can force housing prices to remain affordable for the average person. Story 19. A company, its purpose would be to manufacture housing and food, medical programs. I would fund it secretly using offshore accounts I would funnel my infinite money into so no one would know how the company was funded, and I would rebuild homeless communities and tent villages and shack communities around the world, giving them jobs to help build their own homes, paying and feeding them on the job so they could build a life for themselves without thinking they are getting it free, giving them dignity and eventually their own ownership of a home. Path to freedom and community, no more need to struggle for anyone. Story 20. Well, since this specifically says infinite, that does change things a bit. It's not the same as winning a lotto jackpot. Infinite means you can buy anything that can be bought. Setting aside the economical issues that infinite money would cause, I would buy Amazon. Lock, stock, and barrel. Buy out Bezos and the current board completely. Take the company private. Change it into a force for good, and ensure that every single employee is treated well and compensated appropriately. A private company is beholden only to its controlling investors. That would be me. I would use the massive injection of liquidity caused by my buyout to implement the improvements and policy changes. Profits would mostly be donated to various charities and organizations that provide aid. I would not personally lead the company. It would be easy to hire someone to do what I want as CEO with the aforementioned liquidity. Story 21. Buy all the land that's for sale in New York City. Then I'll improve the public school system plus add vocational schools, increase social services, mandate nursing staffing ratios, actually create affordable free housing for those working high-demand skilled jobs, fix potholes, reduce corruption, keep violent offenders in jail, fix roads, etc. If infinitely rich could just work towards fixing stuff plus enlist those who care plus have experience, and do it one city at a time.